seconds, and that would have really been a nasty one.
So Bow, unusual move there on the main straight last time around, but now coming back.
He's making hard work for himself, isn't he?
Yeah, I really don't understand what's happening here. Brock coming under fire again from Bow. So
providing great racing, let's put it that way.
It certainly is. All this time, Seaton building a lead. It was 1.5 seconds last time around. He's probably opened that gap a little bit more. Bow very, very deep under brakes as he gets right under the wing of Brock's car as they come into the carousel once again. Headlights ablaze, and he will not ease off on this pressure. Terrific pressure driving from Bow. Johnson, his teammate, in fourth position. Perkins in fifth. Mazira in sixth. Scaife, Longhurst and Gardner. And Grice in 10th position. That's the top 10 at Lakeside.
Well, here's Mobile One holding him off.
And you can see he's using every ounce of road, isn't he, Alan? He's bouncing it off the ripple strips.
He's protecting his position. And here's John. Careful, mate.
Very, very close here. Bow will try and capitalise as they come through this very quick right-hander onto the main straight, building up to 250 kilometres an hour plus. And
some lap traffic coming up, so it's about to get interesting here.
This could slow Peter's approach to the carousel, and it might give John a bit of a shuffleboard effect here.
Well, he's got the lap traffic coming up ahead. This could be the opportunity he's been looking for, and Brock gets balked by just 1 second. See, Bow tries to go for the option on the outside, but finds a lap car there. Ducks back in behind Brock for the run through the lap traffic. We've got another one, John Trimble here. Hopefully we'll move over, give them some racing room. Brock, tremendous pressure driving here from John Bow. See how hard they're working those cars through that dip, Alan. The inside wheel almost 6 or 7 inches in the air.
They are. But two beautifully prepared cars, and seasoned campaigners. They know what they're doing.
Lap 11 of 39. Long way to go in Heat 2 at Lakeside this afternoon. Brock withholding the pressure.
Unbelievably sustained high-pressure driving from both these guys. And here's Bow, pulls out for another look. No chance there, but he'll try again under brakes as they get down here to the bottom at the carousel.
Glenn Seaton too taking advantage. He's got the lead up to 4.3 seconds. This is just the scenario he would have wanted to try and peg back the points lead of John Bow.
Don't let's forget Dick Johnson too. He's not quite on the tail of these two, and as we take Dunlop race cam from Dick Johnson's car, that's just how far adrift he is of the battle for second and third positions, and he's maintained station there pretty much, and neither of these two up front will want to pause for breath because he'll be all over them.
Well, the weather conditions may have changed to his favour this afternoon. He's on a harder set of tyres than his teammate, and he's certainly hanging in there quite well. His lap times are within a tenth of a second of Bow and Brock, so maybe Johnson will come more into the equation as this race unfolds. Currently in a close fourth position, Larry Perkins behind him, Thomas Mazira, Mark Scaife and Tony Longhurst.
Well, after the early shower in the Dash for Cash, weather conditions couldn't have worked out better for these guys today. It's not hot, quite mild conditions, overcast, track not too hot, and this is the best they could possibly ask for.
So Brock and Bow maintaining the pressure, grinding Brock. Every opportunity he gets, he sneaks the nose of the Shell 18 Falcon up the inside. Maximum pressure driving here. Two very experienced campaigners. Peter Brock driving better in 95 than I think I've ever seen him drive. A real championship contender in 95.
This is an enthralling battle, and not only are these two going at it hammer and tong, I do believe they've just opened up that gap a little further on Dick Johnson rather than him closing on them, which is quite remarkable under the circumstances. There's Glenn Seaton just disappearing out of picture. There he is.
John Bow has a look up the inside, but Brock moves over to cover his territory.
It's a dicey place to be thinking about passing. It's hard enough to get by there on your own, but John's got the double problem of having to look after his own business and make sure that he tries to make sure that Brock is looking after his health.
I'm sure he'd be aware, Alan, as the tyres progressively lose their effectiveness over the distance of the race, the opportunities for a late braking manoeuvre become less and less.
Just don't have the control of your car that you did earlier.
So Peter Brock still in command of second place, but John Bow trying to fight back in this championship. Let's check them out in the Shell race score at this stage of the race. Glenn Seaton, a handsome lead there over 05 Peter Brock. In third, car 18 John Bow right behind. In fourth, 17 Dick Johnson. And in fifth, Larry Perkins in the Castrol Commodore.
Still they are at it. Brock and Bow second and third. Glenn Seaton continues to lead this Heat 2, round 5, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championships at Lakeside, but this is where the battle is.
Brocky is really placing that car. Just watch where the front tires are touching the edge of the track. He's really maximizing his chances, and he needs to. He's got John Bow for a praying mantis here this afternoon. With a yellow flash in his rear view mirror, he won't have to look too clearly.
In behind the top trio, Dick Johnson continues to hold down fourth spot. Then Larry Perkins in the Castrol Commodore, and Thomas Mazera in the second of the Mobile Net Commodores.
So maintaining the pressure, Seaton is on a 52.77, the only man in the 52-second bracket at the moment, running out that nice clean air without the pressure of these two. This guy's slipping back into the low 53-second bracket. The gap out to 4.7 seconds. Seaton over Brock at the moment.
What was the biggest gap Bauer had on the field in the first heat? About the same, I think.
Not much more.
So, critical advantage at this stage of the race, and he's proven the Bridgestone tyre combination he has on the car will run the distance very competitively. So if Seaton doesn't get caught up in someone else's trouble, they're looking very strong toward the end of this race.
Well, the man that's got the best view of all of this, of course, is Dick Johnson, slotted into fourth place. And as we take Dunlop race cam, Dick's got a great view of the dice between Peter Brock and John Bow, and they are going at it hammer and tong, Dick.
They sure are, Wilco. I'm just trying to keep this thing together enough so Larry doesn't start mauling me. But listen, Wilco, what I'd like to do, one of my guys is in a hospital. He had an accident going to work, and I'd just like to say hi to Tony.
You can do that.
Thanks, Bill. He's sitting in hospital watching us.
And we'll say hi to Mike as well, who's sitting in hospital watching us.
Mike too, yeah. Sorry, Mike. I didn't really mean to miss you.
Well, the gap last time around down to 4.2 seconds, the gap between Seaton and second place Brock here. So just holding the gap below 5 seconds. And very difficult job here for Brock. If he's trying to make inroads on Seaton, he's got a very hard day at the office ahead of him.
Just outside of the top half dozen, Mark Scaife for Winfield Commodore, holding down 7th position at the moment, just in advance of Tony Longhurst in the Castrol Falcon, and then Wayne Gardner in the Coke Commodore. And Alan Grice still there in the top 10 in the Pinnacle Commodore. A good job considering the disaster they had here in testing prior to the Bathurst meeting, when the car caught fire and was pretty much burnt to the ground here. So they've had a solid effort to rebuild and get Grice back behind the wheel for this meeting today. Ben Seaton leading the race from Peter Brock, John Bow, Dick Johnson, and then Larry Perkins, as we take Castrol race cam inside the cockpit with Larry Perkins as he wrestles this brute of a machine around Lakeside Raceway. And we go to our second camera in the front bumper of Larry's car. There's Dick Johnson right ahead of him as he comes round the top of the circuit and prepares to line up for the long straight, which in fact is hardly straight at all here at Lakeside.
And here we come down onto the main straight with Dick in front, starting to get to Decision City time here. This is one of the fastest corners. Larry just touching beautifully. You can tell the camera isn't bouncing around. I mean, I know we have good camera mounting and good engineering staff with 7 Sport, but that car is sitting extremely flat through this undulating circuit. Here we come through the carousel, up through the gears, down onto the back straight under Dunlop Ridge, which used to be very, very tight. It's been opened up here over the last couple of years, much safer. This one's nasty. A thud down into the corner, on the brakes, down this gearbox. He's getting Dick. He's getting him as we talk. Coming up on track, can't take him. Ooh, he's a little indecision there from Dick, and Larry wasn't able to go too far out. I think Dick's in trouble.
Yeah, look,
here we go. Down onto the main straight now again.
Maybe heading for the pit lane, Alan.
No.
Oh, he's